Hi guys, it's Ray here from City Fan TV. How are you doing? Hope you're well. Tuesday, still think it's Tuesday, 9 o'clock. And we're here. We're here to talk about the latest City news, Manchester City. See what's happening out there. On Twitter. Crying in the house tonight. If you remember, yesterday we had Peter Thornton on as a board member for Lancashire FA Board of Directors. I think I've just got to get it right. Yeah, so we had a good old chat. Sadly, problems with the connection towards the end. We had a good old chat talking about what went wrong this season. So what we're going to talk about now tonight. Well, cancelling the season update. Can we talk about that? I think we can. It's not been a massive update, but there's been something from UEFA. We're going to talk about Mark Vivian. I'm going to have to spell his name right. Mark Vivian Foy. Talk about him. And the last win at Main Road. How about that? Not massive detail. So yeah, let's just stick this on to Twitter whilst I wait. As I said, whilst I wait for people to join us. And as usual, we'll talk about anything else that's reasonable, that's worth talking about. Ooh. I hope you guys have had a decent day. Let you know what I've been up to. Just catching up on schoolwork because my lads are back in school now in terms of doing work at home. So they've got tons of schoolwork to do, tons of schoolwork to catch up on. So we're getting through that. It's interesting, let's say. Interesting. Let's see. Hope you're well. Hope you're doing well. 5 subs a game. It sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? Its integrity is gone. I would say Caruis FC. Is that right? Caruis? Will they be cancelling the season? Just call me Riley. They won't be cancelling the season. I'm sure they won't. Is that you got to help with that? Caruis FC. Yeah, I can't see it. I can't see it any other Welsh language. It's like Dutch to me, to forgive the pun. I'm going to start off tonight by talking about Mark Vivian Foy. So he's there on this day back in April the 21st, 2003. Mark Vivian Foy scored City's last ever goal at Main Road when we beat Sunderland 3-0. Did he score a couple that day? And yeah, sadly, Mark Vivian Foy, he passed away later that year. He was on loan at City. I mean, let's talk a little bit about him and his career. He's a Cameroonian international, played in midfield. He was born in Cameroon, Yaoundé, in Cameroon, and but he passed away in Lyon, in France, and he spent a bit of time playing for them. And once he came to France, he started off obviously in Cameroon, but he came to Lens for about 5 years. Now Lens is a good old club up in the north of France. Is it Pas-de-Calais? I might be a bit south of that, but anyway, I'm trying to remember. I don't know the region or the department, but it's. I mean, we got drive not too far away from there when we drive up from Paris to Calais. They got a Louvre there as well, and Louvre museum, art gallery kind of thing. And Lens is a funny old place. I think they have more people. Let me get this right. They have a bigger crowd at the football ground than they have the number of people in the town. So people come from all over the region to watch Lens play. And if you ever watch, there's a film, Danny Boone film, Bienvenue les Ch'tis, something like that. Even my French isn't great. It's Welcome to the Sticks. It's a great film, and they film a piece at Lens, and where the fans are singing and they're moving in the wall, and they end up crying. But Marc Vivian-Foé was there for 5 years, and then he spent a season at West Ham, 3 seasons at. He was on loan at City for his last season, and he was only there for 1 season. Played 35 games, 9 goals, and after he passed away, I think City rested his number, and he was posthumously decorated with a Commander of the National Order of Valor. I think that's in Cameroon. So, it was it's obviously sad. It was on the 26th of June. Cameroon faced Colombia in the semi-final of the Confederations Cup, and that was in Lyon, where he obviously spent a few years playing. In the 72nd minute of the match, Foé collapsed in the centre circle. Nobody else was near him. They tried to resuscitate him on the pitch. He was stretchered off, and they spent 45 minutes trying to restart his heart. But sadly, he passed away shortly afterwards. And I think it was down to heart-related. His death was heart-related, hereditary condition, and it was. Obviously, it was very, very sad, and a lot of City fans of that era remember him with a great deal of fondness. Okay, let's move on. So it's Caruis. I don't think I was too bad. Caruis. Marc Beltivi wants a percentage of the money's got back if the league is cancelled. I think it's reasonable, Mark. You'd expect them to ask for that. They'd ask for that, Mark, simply because they're missing out of their product. Or suspended their like packages. For instance, I wanted to cancel my BT, and they said, "Well, we'll give you free for 3 months, and then we'll see," because they're just hoping I stick around. So they lost money there. They lost money obviously from not having the games, not having the advertising and stuff in the games, and everything else associated with football that they can make their money from, betting and everything else. So they're losing out big time. Sky, especially, and BT, so they want to get some money back. Now, Caruis must be. So let's see, Caruis. You go. I can't believe it's far off the A55. That goes through North Wales. Done it. I used to do it many times. I remember went over to Bangor about 18 months ago. Bangor and. Many times Anglesey and stuff like that, and so you're looking at North Wales, so not too far away. Probably in the old days you could probably do that in an hour, maybe not now with all the speed cameras and everything else. Pochettino, Newcastle. Well, you never know, David. You never know what's going to happen. Some Newcastle fans think it'll be they'd go back for Rafa. Personally, I don't see that. I don't see why. For me, he's not the level of manager they think he is. I don't think so. I think Pochettino, he'll get you with the money. I think he'd get. And the good thing for Pochettino, he's going to be there for a project. He'll be there. If he's there for 3 to 5 years, I think you'll be knocking on the door within 3 years of the Champions League. Maybe within 5 years, you'll be in that Champions League, similar to what City did. And it's not gone through, I don't think, Mark. Cardiomyopathy. Yeah, I'm just going to have a look at what it said. I'm just going to have a look what it said about Marc Vivian-Foé. There you go. Hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, hereditary condition, and it increases the risk of sudden death during physical exercise. And it's one of those things wasn't diagnosed. No one knew about it. So let's move on. Adam, if the season is voided, doesn't Aguero's records go? Is your most hat-tricks, highest international players, goals, and yeah, I mean this is one of the things. If it is voided, are all results null and void? I don't know how they do that. Do they keep the League Cup because that was actually completed? I don't know how you do it. It's a crazy situation. Crazy situation to do that. Let's have a look then. Let's have a look at what UEFA are saying. Now I'm looking at the MEN, the Manchester Evening News website, and apparently UEFA will consider, because they had a meeting today, apparently they'll consider special cases to cancel league seasons, but have reiterated a dedication to finishing European divisions and cup competitions. Look, it's a mixture. It's a mixture. On one hand, they'll talk about integrity and they've got to get competitions through to the end and blah, 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 which is true. I accept and understand that. But the biggest driver is money. That's the biggest driver. If they were told, here, you can have £10 billion if you stop the season, they'd stop the season. They won't even discuss it. If Sheikh Mansour comes along and says, I'll give you £10 billion, UEFA, and give that to your other leagues as well, void the season. You tell me they won't void the season? They won't try to do that. It's about money at the end of the day. Now, we know the Belgium League, they've already stopped their season and just said, right, these are the positions, and they've just done that. But obviously, there's a lot of options. We've discussed it before on this channel, where you can either you can null and void the whole season, which I don't think is fair. And then, you still got that argument about who goes into the Champions League. Is it Spurs because they were in their last season? Well, they don't deserve to be there. So that's unfair. And it's fraught with danger by just doing that, by clubs saying we deserve, Leicester would say, well, we were up there. We deserve to be in the Champions League. Yeah. So that's a really tough one. If you stop the season and award the positions as they are now, Sheffield United say, well, we could have made the Europa League or whatever with that game in hand. And I can't remember who's second bottom. Villa. So we've got a game in hand. We could have got out of the bottom three with that game in hand. So if we'd won it, so each of these clubs, Villa, if you relegate Villa, they might just say, we'll sue you because it's worth 150 million quid to us not to be relegated, and we can't do that on a whim. And the other option is to continue the season. I said that continuing for me is the fairest. Stopping the season where we are and awarding it as we are isn't particularly fair, and null and voiding it. Everything's fraught with someone ready to complain, except if you continue and finish the season. UEFA wants to finish the domestic top divisions and cup competitions because that affects the clubs going to the Champions League and the Europa League. But some special cases will be heard once guidelines concerning participation to European competitions in case of a cancelled league have been developed. Now, here's a thing to think about. If Germany go back in May, let's say by the end of June, let's say Germany have finished their league. Let's say Austria have finished and a few others. But England, France, Italy, and Spain haven't. And maybe that's too much. Maybe that's too many to exclude, because at the top five leagues are Italy, Spain, France, Germany, and England. So you still have four of your top five leagues haven't finished. But the pressure would be on if, for instance, in a month's time, Spain said, we're coming out of lockdown. We can finish our season behind closed doors. Think about this. If Germany finished by the end of June, if Spain finished by the end of June, I can't see Italy and France doing that. But I'm just putting it out there. If the other league said we're going to play behind closed doors or whatever, get it finished, and England don't, And then the other leagues say, well, and UEFA say, we want the Euro Champions League to start again in September. The pressure is on England to make a decision. They'll have to make a decision because they'll be told by UEFA, well, we're carrying on because we're not stopping for you. There's money involved. There's money at stake. You've got to, by the end of July, they could say by the end of July or by the end of August, you've got to have the league over and done with. We've got to know who's in the Champions League next season. So I think there's, we might be pushed because of what happens in other leagues. Hi, Kamal. Hope you're well. Let's try and keep up with you guys and what you're saying. Mark, you said your places are a big risk if leagues are cancelled. There you go. UEFA said that. Hi, Abdallah. Hope you're well. Championship front runners will sue. I've said that, Mark. If there's no promotion, there's talk of having 22 teams or 23 even. Leeds are 7 points clear. I think, is it 7 or 8? Leeds are clear. West Brom, they're at least 6 points clear of third place. Was it Fulham? I can't remember. Brentford. So, they're not up. That's the thing you've got to remember. They're not up. Nothing is ever guaranteed. There you go. Leeds are 7 points clear of Fulham, who are in third. West Brom are 6 points clear, and they've got a massive goal difference advantage over Fulham with 9 games to go. But if Leeds lose all 9 games, they've won the last 5, so you think it's not possible. But if Leeds lose 5 games, which is possible out of the last 9, they might not go up. So it's not done and dusted. And the thing is, there was talk of Leeds and West Brom going up, and Ian Bishop said this, and Fulham, Brentford, Notts Forest, and Preston going to a playoff because they're currently in the playoff positions. But then Bristol City will say, hang on, we're 1 point behind Preston. Millwall will say we're 2 points behind. So will Cardiff will say we're 2 points behind. Preston have lost 4 out of the last 5 games. We want a chance. Blackburn will say, well, we're 3 points behind. We've got a better goal difference. Swansea are 3 points behind. Even Derby, who are 5, and Queen's Park Rangers, who are 6 points behind, could make it. And some of these teams, especially the ones closer to the top 6, they could say, look, you're giving us no chance. Whereas if we continue the season, we would have had a chance. And they can fight for it because they say, well, we're not going to get relegated. So why don't we take it to court? Give us some money. Give us 30 million quid and we'll shut up. Who knows where it's going to end? It is asking for trouble. Let's see what else you guys are saying. Well, Abdallah, I can't see the title going anywhere else but Liverpool. I can't see them nulling and voiding it. I just cannot see that happening. Belgium only had 1 weekend to play. Yeah, Matt, but they have in Belgium they have what's it called? A playoff system. So it's not so straightforward. And I think some clubs could say, well, we weren't. Nothing was guaranteed. And that's the thing, but they've made the decision and that's where it's gone. Hey, Angus, hope you're well. Koulibaly saying it would be interesting in the Premier League, but Napoli's agents said there would be no Corona discount on him. We'll see, Adam. We'll see. Because the thing is, when it's all said and done, if Italian football, imagine this. Imagine other countries come back sooner and Italian football doesn't start till next season. The clubs are going to be skint. Think about it. There'll be no TV income, no match day income. What the sponsors paying for? Where's your advertising on the ground and everything else? All you're selling is a bit of merchandise, maybe a little bit of YouTube money or your TV channel. Where's your income coming from? And Napoli can see all they like, but if the Italian league doesn't start up again and the government or somebody doesn't bail them out, what are they going to do? Staring at a loss of maybe 300 million euros. What they do? And if City come along and say, well, we'll have Mr. Koulibaly for 50 million, Napoli might have to accept it. They might have to do a fire sale of their best players. And other Italian clubs might have to do a fire sale of their best players. just to get by. Now, City could rock up and say, we'll take Skriniar, we'll take I mean, this is a bit, you can say it's a bit Alice and Heartless, but we can say we'll have Skriniar, we'll have Koulibaly, that's 100 million. We'll have Lautaro Martinez as well. We'll pay 60 million for him because he's a bit better than the others or whatever. And they could walk off with 3 players for 150 million quid, which normally would have cost them about 250. It's a chance for somebody. Good to know you're still working, Angus. I keep studying, keep your brain working. Abdallah says the government have power if games go ahead. Clubs won't take. Well, no, they can't. Government can just override them, and that's it. They can't do anything about that. No, Adam. Government don't have to take any. The government can just say no mass gatherings. That's it. If the government say no gatherings of more than 10 people, you can't have a football game. Or if they say no gatherings of more than 20 or whatever, no football match because that's a gathering of players on a pitch. On what they're going to do. Can you imagine if they say no gatherings of more than 10 players? Are they going to be playing 5-a-side for the rest of the season to finish the games? It's a ludicrous thought. It ain't happening until the lockdown is lifted. Until players are tested. We've heard players already. I can't remember who it was said. Can you imagine catching the virus off somebody else, taking it home and killing your kids or your wife? Some players are spooked. I think most will just say, we'll be all right. But some players are spooked. And yes, in this country, when I looked at the death stats, for the people between 0 and 39, it was only, I think, 1.5%. Everybody else was, 40 and up, with most of them being 60 and over. I think 60 and over was 92. Was it 92.5% or something? So most of it's like that. And when I did the figures a few days ago, it was about 112, 120 people between 0 and 39 who had sadly passed away. So it's very, very unlikely for the footballers to get it, and if they get it, to succumb to it. But there'll be people who will say, I'm not prepared to take that risk. What are you going to do with them? Hi, Zidane, hope you're well. Because apparently, what's that about your project? Easy life for you kids there. Adam, every time I said they would expect to return 4th of May behind closed doors, but I reckon that date will be extended and he'll get to it. I can't see them playing on the 4th of May. Look, I've not looked at the numbers of people dying in Italy, but it still must be in several hundred a day. I can't see them starting on the 4th. They're pushing it. For me, and it might happen, but can you imagine? I've said this many times. If 25,000 of Italians, even 30,000, have died by within the next once the next 2 weeks are up as well, it just seems wrong. It just seems wrong to play football. Hi, Catherine. Hope you're well. Let's have a look. Adam, I can see football being played behind closed doors, but the odd group of fans outside the stadium near pubs. It's what happens. It's what happens, and people will want to get. And they are daft. I mean, I'm trying to avoid these absolute morons on Twitter. I had a little bit on Facebook, but Facebook, people who normally, most of the people who converse with me are friends or friends of friends, and they shut up very quickly about they start off that the government's doing a great job, but they shut up very quickly because they really don't have an argument to 20,000 deaths and lots of errors and mistakes and some potentially deliberate if you into that way of thinking. But on Twitter, you get some absolute balloons it's like, have you sleepwalked through the last 3 months and you got no idea what you're talking about? It's absolutely crazy situation. And overall, I think, as I've got to be honest, as this situation drags on, I'm watching less and less, and not studying as much as I used to. When a month ago I did that, a few videos with a lot of talk about the coronavirus, COVID-19, and now I don't say too much about it because I'm kind of like, emotionally, you're reading some of the harrowing stories. It takes its toll. Now I'm just kind of waiting, letting it drag out to its whatever conclusion it is. But I'm seeing a lot less. But you still get some melons, and you think, have you not been watching? You don't know what's been going on? Arguing that we've done really well in this country compared to others. Well, compared to not many, because there's not many countries that have got a worse death toll than we have. And success is not the number of empty beds, empty ICU beds. That's not a measure of success, really. Success is not how many countries are ahead of you in the morbid death total in that table. That's not success. For me, success is looking at someone like Japan and South Korea. And I said to somebody today, I said, Japan and South Korea, between them, I've got, up to the time I looked at it today, 500 deaths in Japan and South Korea combined. One had, I think, 263. One had 237. I think 237 was South Korea, but I can't remember. One had 263. One had 237. Japan's got about 125 million people, and South Korea's got 51.5 million people. So they've basically got almost, their populations combined is almost 3 times that of the UK. And they've had 500 deaths between them. We've had, even on the official, we're up to, 16,500. So, success is not, success is, those are not my measures of success. So, as I said, with that level of the situation, I can't see Italy coming back on the 4th of May. I would be, honestly, I could be wrong, but I would be flabbergasted if they come back in basically we're talking 2 weeks time. I can't fathom that. Angus, we've lost too many people, loved ones, people we associate with and family. It's causing depression, shock and pain and misery. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. We've lost over 100 healthcare workers. I can't imagine, I can't accept that we've lost over 100. It's crazy. Yeah, let FIFA do what they want, UEFA do what they want. I just say stuff them. What they're going to do for clubs is we're not ready because of what's happened. You're going to need, you can't rush these. You got to have probably 4 weeks, but they try and of pre-season, but they try and whip it down to 3 weeks of pre-season, rush it all through. But players they're not machines. They're well paid, but they're not machines. They're not slaves. They're not hired playthings, and what they feel matters to. Yeah, Mark Bell, they said on 29th of August, I think you can go and buy your tickets and your plane tickets and your hotel tickets right now, because I can't believe they're going to be very expensive. Yeah, Angus, it's really stupid what some people say. Let's try and wind up to 30 minutes already. Adam, do you think Pep will be able to coach at a world-class rate like he always does when football's back after losing one? Yeah, look, Adam, some of these things can take. Some people never get over. This is the thing. Some people never get over the loss. For some people, they can get over it quicker and get back into what they're passionate about. Honestly, I don't know. No idea. Obviously time, they say time is a healer, and it helps once time's passed, but I mean, you're going to be still thinking about it. Still think about it. Let's go through your questions. Zidane would get Aubameyang for 60. Aubameyang is what, 29, 30 years old? And the thing for Arsenal is, let's have a look how old he is. He's already 30. He'll be 31 in the summer. He's not worth 60 million. Now, if you said to me, you can have him for 40 million and he'll get you through 2 seasons, 2 good seasons, I'd be very, very tempted. because he scores goals. You can't deny that. But sometimes he does go missing. But with our team, you'd like to think we'd set up enough and he'd score plenty. Japanese culture lends to wearing masks even if they have a cold. Yeah. Well, and you got some idiots, and I'll say this out loud. You got some idiots like Majid Nawaz, who's on LBC. I remember a few weeks back in March, well into March, and they'll turn around and say, "Oh, look, they're having a second wave in Singapore and South Korea." And someone said to me, "Oh, look at Japan having a second wave." And I think, "Hang on, you plonkers." And I said to Majid Nawaz, he never replied and never will, I suspect. But I said to him, he was talking about a second wave. And I said, you've got to put these second waves into context. He was talking about the second wave in South Korea. Now, South Korea had identified 93 new cases, and it's like, oh, look, this is before we'd locked down, and he was saying the government doing the right thing because you've got to get the timing right, and it's proven that we're right because of the second wave in South Korea. South Korea had 93 new cases, yeah, and 74 out of those 93 new cases were in Daegu, which is a city in South Korea, where that was their hotspot because they had a religious convention for was it 2 or 3 days, and it absolutely exploded there. Someone went there, had the virus, passed it around, and then people just scattered, and it went. That's where it really happened. Now, 74 out of those 93, if I remember correctly, 74 were in one care home in Daegu. One care home. So the bulk of the new, the second wave was in one care home. Okay, 74 people, and they only found out because they were going around checking all the care homes in the country, testing people. So that's how South Korea found out there were this many. And if you look at it now, even if you look, I'm going to pull it up now. South Korea. Let's have a look at South Korea. Falling down the table. I can't find them now. Where have we gone? They had a lot of cases. Isn't that funny? Because when you want to find them, you can't find them now. Japan, for instance, Japan has sat there with 263 deaths. They've got a total of 11,000 cases. New cases, well, the new cases haven't been released. 260 deaths. So 10,000 cases in total. So it's a huge difference to what's happened here. Let's see what you guys are saying. Let's talk about what you guys are saying. Jesus, says Abdallah. That's what I said. That's what I've been saying. Put him on the left by a world-class forward. Angus wouldn't pay 60, 20 million or 30 million. Sounds, but Arsenal wouldn't want him. I think Arsenal will have another season out of him because if we lose him, then who we got left? We're looking at Lacazette and Pepe. Do we have to get somebody else in? It'll cost us a lot. Let's try and keep him. Yeah, Adam, into Miami. Well, yeah, every club's going to be a top-class striker and a centre-half. Can't argue with that. I mean, when we do come around to doing a transfer video, I think we're looking at centre-back, left-back. Depends what obviously happens with Mendy and Zinchenko, but definitely a centre-back and a left-back. I want a centre-forward or a winger. I like the idea of a versatile player who can play across the front line. I mean, at a push, you can have Sterling at left wing, right wing, or through the middle. So that's what I want. Someone who can play in any of those three positions. Yeah, that's it, Angus. 1 year contract left. Jesus needs to become more consistent. Absolutely, Mark. And in some games, you think, wow. Okay, you think, wow, it's happening. And he's got some great goals, played some great games, and then suddenly, in the next game, he's average again. But I hope he can step up. I hope he can step up because you want someone who's been around for a couple of years, but 3 years now, to make it. You know, you'd rather he makes it than he doesn't, and we start with somebody else and try and, you know, get somebody in, and they take a season or two to acclimatise and everything, and familiarise themselves and get going. Right, guys, I think that's my lot for tonight. I was watching a film with the missus and the kids. I think the kids gone to bed now. I might go and watch the rest of the film. But you guys take care, and hopefully we will see you all tomorrow. Take it easy, guys, and good night.